needed or we were part of it. Who has something good to do on script?
Okay. I got a buyer from an house that Saturday.
So the open houses definitely do work, right? Now, sometimes I know it's really tough when you go out there, especially if you don't get anything right away. But this is a story I always kind of like tell people is, why we should do the activity if you're not seeing progress necessarily right out of the gate. My wife and I were living in the state of Washington, and I worked for an agent, and the team that we were on, the team got basically awarded a new home subdivision. So I got the duty of basically doing all the open houses on the weekend for the new homes, and my wife wasn't super excited about that because I was gone every weekend. So every weekend that I came home from holding the model homes open, my wife asked, "Hey, did you get any leads?" And for like the first 3 weeks, every single week I had to tell her that nothing solid came out of it. Right? So she was getting really upset by the time we got to about week 3 of that, she was getting really, really upset. And then the 4th week, I met somebody that basically didn't want to buy those houses, wanted to buy something else, and then they needed to sell their house. And then I met somebody else that wanted to buy, was moving into the area and wanted to buy a place. So on that 4th weekend, I made about $60,000 worth of commission between a buy, a sell, and then another buy. And so then my wife didn't complain about me being gone on the weekends quite as much. So sometimes we don't see the point is sometimes we don't see things right away, but if we continually go out there and we sit at the fishing pole, eventually something's going to bite, right? Cool. Who else has something good to do on here?
I did my first house on Saturday, and the first person that came in, they were actively looking in the area that I just helping them look for their home.
Awesome. So just got her license not too long ago out there doing the activities and seeing some of the results. So that's great. All right, Daniel, let's move on to the next one. All right, wait a minute. Sponsor the today, so let's give Andrew a big hand, and you can tell us what the means between our agents. Thank you, Andrew.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Benjamin. Just give a brief description of who I am and my life story, I guess. I grew up in Long Beach, California. I'm a teacher, educator, instructional aide, however you would like to specify it. I work for Long Beach Unified School District, but in my spare time, I am a freelance photographer. So I work not only for myself, but I also work with a few people, with my startup, I guess, production company, allowing ourselves to, I guess, market ourselves to agencies that could utilize our services. So today I just wanted to, I guess, come in and give you guys like just a simple pitch. I don't have it on a slide. I just want to kind of verbally give it to you. Okay, so I offer weddings, or I offer my services for couples that are, planning on getting weddings or planning on getting wedding. But we also do video, we also do photos. We try to basically present ourselves as a visual enhancement company. We want to be able to provide our services for people like you that want to present their homes and listings to potential customers and be able to, I guess, in a sense, bring in more clientele that would be visually astounded by the homes that you present to them. So I have just a few examples of my work that I have loaded up. You can just simply pass around and swipe through. By way of Norola, she is a co-worker colleague of mine through the district, and she was telling me about how you guys have such a great company and that she just got started, but she's planning on growing and how she loves the atmosphere that she has here. And she was telling me that it would be a great opportunity for me to present myself to you guys I was recently able to take some of her headshots and take some photos for her, I guess, real estate business cards or whatnot. And I just feel like I could be of service to you. The idea is to be able to take photos or captivating photos that would be able to, in a sense, how can I describe it? It would be able to take all of the minor details that you would find in in a home, the being able to expand on the space, be able to show online that the customers are not only visually getting a beautiful home online, but they're also getting a visually beautiful home in person. I have talked to some people in my local neighborhood who are currently looking for homes elsewhere, and unfortunately, to some degree, they're saying that the visual representation online is not necessarily aligning or correlating with the representations of the homes in the area. So I figured that there might be some kind of disconnect. I'm not sure if it's because of the lack of quality of photos. I'm not sure if it's because of the video production crew that they possibly have went with or company that they've gone with in order to present their homes. But I would like to be able to help you guys, if possible, with doing the same.
So you said you do video taking,
Yes,
do you have a website or is it?
I do have the website. I can give you a card that has my website on it. And I don't know if you can put it up here, but it'll also have more examples of the work that I've done. I have a portfolio on my iPad, but I also have a portfolio listed on in case that any of you would like to, view it and see, if maybe my services would be applicable for you.
Okay. Any questions for Andy? Well, really appreciate it. All right, let's go to the next slide. Logic makes you think, emotions make you act. That's a bold bar and all the skills that bold. What do you think that really means though? What does that tell you? Think about your clients that you work with, right? What ultimately gets them to make the decision that they make? Yeah, really, it's emotions, right? Because we think about things logically, but a lot of times we make decisions or we make movement where we take action based off of the emotional side, right? So we need to make sure that when we're connecting with our people, when we're connecting with our clients or potential clients, are we tapping into the emotional side of the things? Because ultimately, I could sit there and say, hey, I want to buy a house. Cool, a house at the end of the day is 4 walls and a roof, right? Why do they want to buy a house? Oh, you know what? I want to be able to provide stability for my kid. I moved around a lot when I was young, and I want to be able to make sure that they have a great place that they can call home that they can grow up into. I want them to stay with the same, it's important to me that they have classmates that they build lifelong relationships with. I didn't have those kinds of friendships. Hey, I want them to be able to play Little League and do those things. I want them to be able to grow up, close to a park or with good schools, or to, feel like that they have, something that belongs to them. Because we were transient, moved around a lot when I was a kid or whatever, something along those lines, right? That's what's really important. So we always need to make sure that we're tapping into those things, whether it's working with our clients or even ourselves, right? Because sometimes motivation, we could sit there and say, cool, I want to make $1 million a year. Awesome. But what does that actually mean? What does that do for us? So we always need to be tapping into the emotion. Okay. Again, a couple new listings that we want to bring up. Andrew, I don't believe he's on the Zoom, but Andrew has one in San Diego. We've got some clients want to run down to San Diego. There's it's got a good property. Vikram is one of our newer agents, so this is his first listing. So when you see Vikram, make sure you give him a big high five and a congrats. Has one in Fontana. David Short has one in RPD here, for rental, looks like a nice place. And then Dee has one in RPD here, looks like a really nice place at a good price
It is.
as well too.
Friday and Saturday.
Cool, well, since Dee's not here, why don't you tell us a little bit about
This is a really awesome, very, very spacious. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. The primary bedroom is really, really spacious, even the second bedroom. Wall-to-wall closet space, it has been redone, the floors, paint, kitchen, everything, and it's beautiful.
Awesome. And then this is the place that you met the buyer. Awesome. So it's even better. Cool. All right. So Stephen, Cindy, you want to tell us a little bit about the one on Braidwood?
4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, we're asking 1.999. It has a fantastic view where they put up glass panels around the back edge, so you can see ocean forever, and it has a swimming pool, and it's priced really, really well to self-play.
Yeah, I mean, ocean views like that for under $2 million. That's pretty amazing. It sounds.
Steven's gonna be there today between 11 and 1. I'm gonna be hosting another one of our meetings on Ocean Terrace. So it's 6224 Ocean Terrace, 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms. The best view I've ever seen in 1930.
That's loud, right?
I'll be there today for another one.
Awesome.
Where's Braidwood?
Braidwood is off of Gran Via, Altamira, and Moreno. Yeah, you go down Moreno. It's
All right, and then David has another one in Torrance, on Park Street, where it was a nice little place. Reach out to David if you have some questions on that one. And then Young, I don't believe Young is here, but she has one in Torrance as well. Looks like a nice place. And then John, you want to tell us a little about San Pedro property?
Yeah, great lease. It's a really big 2-bedroom, 2-bath. 2 parking spots, laundry inside, laundry actually, community laundry downstairs as well. And it's a new paint, new floors, updated bathrooms. 26.
Cool, awesome. Next one is Young, and she's got an RPD as well. What? Oh, it's closing. Okay, so I always missed that first slide, so you need to give me a little heads up. Young had a great closing in RPD. Tom had a great lease here in San Pedro. Next one, Daniel. Stephen had one in Redondo, and then Sandra one in Riverside. So big congrats to them as well too. Cool. Any needs and wants? So like specifically, what buyer that you just picked up? What are they looking for?
2 bedroom, 2 bath, townhome condo. They just got engaged, so they're just starting out, running couple. They're both tech, so they work from home.
Oh, cool.
So
Need some office space, then obviously, right?
So they're okay having a 2 bedroom, that way they can create that space, and then also under 1.2.
Love it. Awesome. All right. Anybody else have some buyers?
I just have a question. The climate we're coming into, have you guys been to sign a buyer's agreement?
Yes,
They do?
not quite, because the husband's out of town and he'll be back this week.
So,
I met him.
so what was your dialogue when you came in and told him? What did you say to him?
Yes, he's back in town from work. Let's set up a meeting. You can come to the office and I need to go over the buying process for you guys. If you guys have any questions, anything like that. At that time, I will go with the buyer's presentation that I got from Jeff and then go ahead and have buyer's presentation agreement.
I'm proud of you. You had the nerve to say that. So that's the way for the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Said, okay, we will keep you posted as soon as.
Yeah.
What date is okay?
I think the big thing is it's gonna be easier for younger or newer agents, I think, in some cases, because that's. I have, my mind hasn't been trained to do something else. I think sometimes as experienced agents, we get hung up on some of those things a little bit more. Like I had a new agent a few years ago that came into the business, And he literally got a buyer broker agreement signed on every buyer he represented. He was like our rookie of the year. I think he sold like 20 houses per year. And literally got a buyer broker agreement signed on every single one of his people. And everybody's like, how the heck are you doing this? Because he was basically holding open houses all the time. And people would come in and he would basically say, cool, if you want me to help, you can sign this. I mean, he didn't know any better to get hung up on what should I say or what should I do, or I feel weird asking. He just asked. And he literally would get people that he just met at open houses to sign a buyer broker agreement. So yeah,
Well, he didn't have the discussion with the prospective buyers that you gotta pay me a commission.
yeah, well, not
He didn't bring that up. He just signed the buyer's agreement. But, well, hope you got somebody. That's a good story.
yeah, for sure. So, and I think the one big thing is that we're all gonna have to lose anyway, so we need to have a conversation. Right? All right,
One more thing, sorry, can I just add in real quick? This is Michelle Velasco. Looking for single family residence in San Pedro up to 900,000. It could be 2-1, but anything coming soon, pockets, anything not on the market. So if anybody has anything coming up, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
cool, awesome. Yeah,
Anywhere in Harbor City, or San Diego, to 800, my goal is
okay.
30%. Easy.
All right, if you guys get any listings that pop up around those things, make sure that you let us know. And then one thing that I think that we'll do on the next meeting that won't take very long, make sure we shorten it up a little bit, so at the end I have a chance to show you guys. But there is that new section inside of Command that is the Market Center exclusives. So that way, I want to make sure you guys all know how to use that. And so basically what it is if you have a listing that is coming soon, and it's not on the MLS yet, but or you got a listing, we have the ability inside of Command now to input a Market Center exclusive listing that doesn't broadcast or doesn't basically go out to all the different websites. It only is searchable inside of Command. So if you guys are looking for properties that are not on the market yet, as a market center, we have the ability to pair those listings with each other, but they aren't made public. So I'm going to show you guys how to put a market center exclusive in. Okay. Cool.
Real quick.
Yeah.
The buyer broker agreement, do we have to start doing it now? Or
Yeah, basically, it doesn't really become mandatory until like August, but Jeff wants us to basically start doing it now. So he's going to require that on anything moving forward, and because it just wants to be.
Are we gonna schedule to do role plays on that?
Yeah, I know he's got some stuff.
I'm rusty on that. I think everybody's in my club too.
They have a chat on WhatsApp chat on Google Play every morning at 8.
Yeah, and then Richard Chung does a Zoom call as well too, and then I know Minnie is going to have us do some sessions as far as that goes. Cool. Thank you. Again, speaking of open houses, if you have open houses that you're okay with letting other agents hold open for you, please let Daniel know so that he has a list. And then if you're looking for open houses, make sure you let Daniel know. That way he can pair you up with anything that might come as well. Okay. Some upcoming classes and events. Let's go over some of the stuff. Again, training calendar. This is not really a class, but if you missed it last week, scan the QR code. This will get you into the Google training calendar that we have. The hard copy, if you missed the hard copy, Daniel can print a hard copy out for you of the training calendar. But I think what a lot of people have been finding a little bit easier is if I have the Market Center training calendar on my calendar, on my phone or whatever like that, I'm not going to miss meetings, I'm not going to miss events. All of those things are going to be on my phone right away. So it's an easier way to track what's going on in the markets. Okay. And then again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we went over this last week, but if you want access or want to start using our Facebook page, make sure that you're sharing things on our Facebook page because our public page is, quite a bit of people. We also have a private Facebook page for you guys if you want to share and ask questions and things. And then the KW shares pages are basically the 3 combined market centers. So if you're looking for an open house or you're looking for something specific, if you ask questions in those pages, then the Long Beach Coastal Market Center and the Torrance Market Center as well too, all of their agents can give you some ideas on some things like that. And those pages are really great to go on, especially if you're looking for an open house, because sometimes people say, hey, I need somebody to hold an open house for me. So that's a great way that you can find opens, not just from our internal agents here, but from our system market center as well too, right? So those are really great as well. And then if you do commercial, there's a commercial one. All right, we have the next night session tonight. That is at 6 p.m. James is going to be covering working with buyers and sellers. So make sure that you come in and James is going to go over how to really connect with buyers and sellers and getting those deals closed. Okay. Bold next step is this Thursday, so that'll be on July 11th here. This is going to be established in the foundation. So if you are in Bold, make sure that you don't miss out on the next session as well. All right, now the so we do those every Monday. A little light yesterday. I know that everybody's still kind of in vacation mode, but we're doing a power hour every single Monday at noon or lunchtime. First week of the month, typically what we're doing is kind of going over lead generation strategies and tactics on how to get more leads. Next week, we'll specifically be going over more listing-based stuff, how to work with sellers and get more listings. And then the third Monday, we typically will go over working with buyers. And then the fourth Monday is more business kind of planning, right? So that is every Monday at noon. So make sure that you pop in on the next one, especially if you're looking at getting more listings, because that's what we're going to be going over. Okay. We do the MREA book club, MREA once a month, and so the next session is going to be tomorrow. Basically, you haven't missed out too much. We just launched this last month. So if you want to join in on that, make sure that you come in tomorrow. And basically what that is, we're going to break down going over the Millionaire Real Estate Investor and on that book. And you know, if you're looking at starting to build your passive wealth through real estate investing, make sure you come to that. So it's half an hour, typically first Wednesday of every month. We didn't do it last Wednesday, just day for 4th of July. Okay. Next one, tech-enabled agent. That we are having a session on that later today, this afternoon, and that is going to be from 2 to 3. That's on Zoom, so that's not a live one. Basically, that's a regional technology session, so that's open to the entire region. That today, what we're going to go over is using command to get leads or to lead generate. So if you want to tune into that one. The QR code gives you the direct link to the Zoom, and again, that will be at 2 o'clock today. We have a big agent camp coming up next month. We're just about a month away from that, so really great opportunity, and there's still time to get some tickets. This gives you the ability to meet and to listen to top agents from across the country on some of the different strategies they're employing right now. And I think especially it's important as we head into this new environment of the NAR settlement that we're hearing what the people are thinking about doing and what they're doing, how they're going to tackle kind of the buyer broker agreement and working with buyers and the dialogues and the conversations that we need to have with agents. So really good opportunity to connect and to really plug in as well. Okay. All right, I've got title tips from Grant.
Hey, everybody. So we wanted to do some follow-up. I think we're up here talking 3 weeks ago. We briefly mentioned Senate Bill 326, which is real estate legislation that we think could be really important in the next 6 months or so. But we wanted to do a bit of follow-up because I started looking a little bit more into it. We realized there's actually 2 bills that seem to cover the general overview of what these bills seem to accomplish. You have flyers on your table that go over these. So both bills, I guess, in essence, what we're trying to do with flyers and show them try to make it a little bit easier to understand these two bills, and how they apply, what they cover. Both bills are mandating regular inspections of exterior elevated elements. These are wood-based or wood-supported structures, such as balconies, walkways, stairways, decks, etc., that are above 6 feet or greater. So both these bills require regular inspections of these, potential mandated repairs of these balconies, stairways, etc. as well. So that's where both of these bills are similar, but there's just minor differences between these two. So Senate Bill 326 is specifically for condo complexes. Both of these are for 3+ units, but Senate Bill 326 is for condo units. So any condo that has 3 or more units that has that exterior elevated element will need to get those inspections and repairs done. Senate Bill 721, that's for apartment buildings, 3 or more as well for those. The inspection requirements, this is where there's another difference. So Senate Bill 326 is a little bit more strict in terms of who can actually perform these inspections. The Senate Bill 326, it'll need to be a licensed architect or engineer that performs the inspection. For Senate Bill 721, remember that's the apartment building one. It's a little bit more lenient in terms of who can perform these inspections. So it's still obviously licensed architects or licensed engineers, but it can also be specified contractors with a specific license letter or certified inspectors. Both of these need to be done by January 1st, 2025, fees, late penalties, etc. Then the last difference between the two, recurring inspections. So they need to have that initial inspection done by January 1st, 2025. There need to be recurring inspections for both of these. The difference between those is the one for condos, Senate Bill 326, is every 9 years. The one for apartment buildings, Senate Bill 721 is every 6 years. Recurring inspections. We don't have it on the flyer, but an important aspect for both of these bills is, let's say they do the inspection and then some repairs come up that need to be done. It needs to be, or the repairs themselves need to be done by someone different than the person that did that original inspection. If you have a licensed architect, it has to be someone else that's doing those repairs. So something very important for a lot of people, even coming up in January 1st, 2025, it could be a solid bill for most people, $3,000-4,000, maybe some water repair, this and that. Be recent, so it would be a big expense for a lot of people that might not have that. We did want some nice shareable information on the flyer, both of those QR codes scanned to a flyer that we have that we can personalize to you, put information on it. In your headshot, so for example, we have 1% of Bill 326. This is the one for condos. Like I said, if you wanted this to start reaching out to people in condo complexes that have 3 or more units, let us know. We can get this with all of your information on it. So let's say you want to aim more the commercial route, we have one for 721 as well. That's one for 3 or more properties. So either of these that you want, let us know. We'll personalize it to you, have your headshot and information on it. And then also too, you can always leverage our products that we have at Fidelity to find people that meet this criteria that do have to do some form of inspections or repairs in the near future. So this is an example of our Fidelity National Title Passport product. It's one of our 3 main products that all of you have free access to, and we can set up accounts for you if you don't have them. But what I wanted to show is a free sample of some data that all of you could access. Start leveraging some of the tools that John's talking about, color loads, command, targeted ads, text campaigns, campaigns, etc. So this is just one example of the list. I was pulling Orange and Rancho Palos Verdes, all condo complexes. So that would be Senate Bill 326. Then they're delinquent in the property taxes. So it shows some form of financial distress. On top of that, they have these inspections, potential repairs, might be a greater urgency to sell. Second example for 721, this is once again on our Fidelity Passport website. Similar criteria, except I focus on 721. So I did 4 units, 3 units, 5+ multi-family apartment units, also delinquent property taxes, and I think there was maybe 33 in those 2 areas. Not a ton, obviously, it's more dense residential area, but we have the ability to get you this data. So let's say you wanted to start calling some people, whether it's condos or apartment buildings, we can get that for you, get the phone numbers and emails, and start lead genning with that one. And then lastly, while I'm just on the topic of Fidelity Passport, lately we've been helping a lot of people with like accommodation reportings. This is a service that we can help with outside of an escrow transaction. So let's say that a past client reaches out to you and they want to put their property from themselves as individuals to a trust. That's something that our company can help with that process. But something that might just be important is the ability to pull recorded property documents. Another reason this might be important is maybe you have a listing presentation next week and you want to make sure you have the name written on the contract ahead of time. Maybe you want to prepare your clients so they know what documents they have. The same platform that I just showed, Fidelity Passport, you have the ability to get these documents. It's really easy. So you just search the property address. This is usually how you generate a property profile. But what I can do also is just where it says document retrieval here, after I search the address. It's gonna give you a menu of every single recorded document that's taking place in that property's history. So let's say I'm looking just for the most recent reported grant deed, that way I can put it on a listing contract. I can select it right there, and then ultimately what it's going to do is create a new tab for me that's going to have that reported grant deed. So now what I can do is either help my client with that accommodation recording, or maybe I'm trying to write in on the listing contract of proper vesting. I have it right here, so I can put it in. So public resources that obviously you all have access to might not be utilized. I know you have a lot of things in your business on a day-to-day basis. We're more than happy to get all of these things specifically to show you what you got the ability to do yourself, or you can leverage us and do these things for you. So whether it's getting the property documents, whether it's getting the data, the flyers, etc. We're just a part of your team. We try to help your business grow, make things easier for you. So never feel bad about asking us for things. The worst we can say is no, we'll pass you to resource that is able to do it, but most of the time we can find a way to help. So my mom and I will be here after the meeting if people have questions. And she also has a great similar coming up soon with good things that I think we need to talk about next week or something.
Okay, I'll send it out.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody.
Comment. What a great way for you to get in touch with your client. They wanted it. It's just not calling them cold. They wanted it. When you think about that, they didn't say you send it to them via email or if you're doing that. But what? They want to know about this. You're the source. So it's a great prop. Get you across to get you out of the office or whatever you do. Go knock on 10 doors today, see what happens.
State owners, state owners, condos, California. This could just be the linchpin that says, you know what, I'm ready to sell that condo. Before it's up. So, you know, that's a really great lead gen source.
So we come to you for out of state owners and we call and see if it's an incentive.
Association, but I think you have to do like there's like a sample size we have to meet. Inspection that it's like inspected, but then in terms of like looking for their so like some associations without them will be considered exterior walking. When I have one each I pay for it.
And there are a lot of HOAs too, I mean, yeah, on 71, I mean, those are probably, a lot of HOAs, if it's just, you know, like say a 4-unit building. Many of those don't have really big operating HOAs, in order they have the money, the inspection right now running between $400 and $500 per inspection. That's just the inspection per balcony, right? So with that being said, they don't have the money for that, or they don't have the resources, they're really not operating. You could be the person like relaying information, and it's just, you know, super whether you want to do the reach out, you know, whether you want to do, you know, an email blast or whatever. It's just be that person, right? Be that expert and just start layering it on like lasagna. Like I'm right, and that's kind of what we're here talking.
So after you do the inspection, then say it's all good. There's a form you have to fill out.
The inspection company does the form and they register that with the state. So that's gonna go building safety. This unit's been inspected and it's good. If it's not by January 1, 2025, the city would have the rights to say, you know, look, there's no, just like fire heater, like all the rest of it hasn't been done. You can't move forward with the transaction until you get it done. Peter California just had to do one of his units on 30th Street, cost him almost $10,000 to get the work done. But you know, my grant, he's still waiting for it to be part of his deck, so everything is getting backed up.
So if you don't do it, what are the?
You get a notice of standard problem. And you
And
can
you're
sell-
in prison.
Prison time.
And they could do a refund if you continue to, you know, if you continue to ignore the notices of standard, they could file a refund. Yeah, I mean, it's state of California, it's gonna take a while, but you don't wanna be that person that takes a listing, pays for the photos, pays for the video, does the sign, and then realize the HOA doesn't come. And how they do it is they just come in with they fill in 2 holes, they go in with cameras. Right, and they're just checking the interior, so they drill 2 holes on the balcony, come in with cameras,
And they're just looking for any kind of dry rot at all. If it is, the balcony has to come on, come off. You know, beams have to be, you know, fixed and the balcony has to be repaired.
The city actually drills holes in your
No,
balcony.
that person wouldn't work. The inspection, that's how they do the inspection. They drill 2 holes in, they go in with cameras and they're looking for any dry rot at all in that room. If there is, then it doesn't pass the inspection.
These are recommendations for.
Good info as far as that goes, sure, so. Thank you. All right, Daniel. We have Dustin's next caravan is on the 16th, so that's after next week's meeting. So if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, make sure that you do. It's just a really fun way to go out on a broker's tour. You get to hang out with other agents from the office. And then we typically will have a good mix of some experienced agents. So especially if you're a newer agent and you kind of want to learn a little bit more about the area, learn a little bit more about real estate, get a chance to meet some of our top agents as well too. Just a really fun, great way to get out there and learn about the properties and be able to connect with other agents in the market center as well too. All right, so make sure you reach out to Daniel and RSVP because every time that we've done that so far, the band is filled up. So make sure that you make your reservation. Okay. MCA minute, we have our page. Tell us a little bit about
Okay, so it's that time of year we're doing our annual renewal. The good news is we're cheaper than last year, so if you pay in full, it'll be $400, or if you want to pay monthly, it's $40 a month. I suggest paying full, so you get the $80 off. And then if you stay after the meeting, I can teach you how to do the new commissions tab because that was live yesterday. And it's pretty similar, but if you do your own files, stick around and I can go through you.
Daniel. I said Maria.
Yeah. You guys haven't RSVP'd yet?
Now, for those of you who can see me, you're not going to see them screaming from the beach. So I need to open versus.
So please scan the QR code, let us know you're coming. We want to make sure we have enough water and drinks. If you want to, bring a little snacks for everybody to share, please do so. We're just gonna hang out for a few hours from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And love to hang out with you guys. So please come join us and have some fun. And then for the next slide, Daniel. And then as a reminder, we will be having our new agent orientation on July 16th. That's next week. It immediately follows the team meeting. So if you're a new agent and you want to join us, please reach out to myself or John. And for the newbies, John will be reaching out to you soon to kind of go over that. It'll be a lot of fun, and then joining in on the caravan. So that's what we have coming up. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so if you recently joined, I would still show up for this, even if you are kind of a couple months veteran.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna go over some of the resources and things like that that are available to you that you might not know or maybe you missed. And then all of our great affiliate and partners are gonna be here to talk to you a little bit more specifically about the things that they offer as well too.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that you're well connected and that you know who your team is, because we are here for you, 110% every single day. So please come join us so that we can let you know exactly where to go to find everything you need. All right, thank you guys.
All right, I put on your guys' desks a paper. You should be grab the one that says rule of 4. I'm going to go over this really quick, and we'll end a little bit early so that you guys can listen to Paige talk a little bit more about entering the commissions in. But I thought that this is really, really important right now because as we're doing more lead generation and trying to get more business, I think making sure that we're focusing in on the place where the things that matter the most are really important, right? So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically the rule of 4 is these are lead generation sources. And what they found is that pretty much 82% of the business we typically will do as an agent are going to come from one of 4 lead generation sources, right? And so I think the reason that this is important is we really need to focus in on when the market is kind of tight like it is right now, and deals aren't happening in as much abundance as maybe that they typically have been in the past. We need to really be laser focused on the activities and on the lead generation sources that are going to actually get us the most business. So you can see, if I'm somebody that wants to do open houses, and I want to door knock, and I want to make cold calls, and I want to do internet lead generation, and I want to host, seminars, and I want to go to networking events and things like that. If looking at this graph, you can see that 41% of the top agents' businesses comes from their primary lead generation source. That drops all the way to 20 for their second, 12 for their third, and then 9 for their fourth. And then you look at the rest of it, and about 3% for everything else, 7% for a fifth one if you did a fifth one. So the point of the matter is, why am I going to focus in on, maybe my fifth or my sixth best lead generation source and spend any time on that when only 4% of my business actually comes from that lead generation? Where I could double down on number one, because the big bulk of my business comes from that, right? And that's one of the things that Jason Abrams always talks about. And if you don't know Jason, he's our director of learning at KwRI. And he always basically says, find your top 3 lead generation sources and really get good at those, master those, because that can have the biggest impact the quickest on your business, right? And then on the next page, what I want to show you is this is the diagram that Jason actually put together. And so this is the way that you should kind of think about your business. Is we have a job and then we have a business. And the job side of that is the activities that I do on a daily and weekly basis. Whether it's, hey, I'm going to contact my sphere. I'm going to do open houses. I'm going to do some sort of prospecting or lead generation. The business is more of the marketing, how the leads come to you without taking action. So those are going to be things like ads or pay-per-click or mailers, things like that. So we should be doing both right. And then that's our roadmap. And then if you look at the middle, it says North Star. That's Command or whatever CRM you're using. So if you're not using Command, cool, just make sure you're using a CRM. And the CRM, your phone, I'll tell you, gang, your phone's not a CRM, right? And most people want to sit there and say, hey, cool, I got everybody in here, I'm good, right? You can't send automated text messages. You can't send automated emails. You aren't going to get reminded of a lot of stuff from your phone. So you have to be utilizing some sort of CRM so that you can make sure that those contacts are being followed up with. You need to make sure that the people that are most important to you are hearing from you, right? Now I'll kind of talk a little bit about the handout that Grant and Ronna provided. That's all that we are doing in this business. We're just looking for reasons to contact you. And the more that we do that consistently, the more we're going to be in the right place at the right time in order to get the business, right? Because let's face it, my mom might use me no matter what, but for the most part, a lot of the people that we know that are kind of in our database are going to probably utilize the first agent that is around them when they decide to buy or sell, right? And the only way that we're going to be that agent is to be constantly in their face. And that's why having CRM is super important. So everybody should be added to that CRM. You need to be sending hyper-local real estate information regularly. So buyers that people are interested in buying, you should be sending them property searches. Sellers, whether they're interested in selling right now or not, you should be sending market stats and neighborhood information, right? And then you should have it says contact everybody at least 4 times a year. And then make sure you contact everybody that's been recently active utilizing your sites, right? The destination. So step 1, here's kind of like the action plan. So narrow down those 3 lead sources. So step 1 is source all your transactions over the last 12 months. So where has all my business come from in the last 12 months? And then choose, what are my top 3 lead generation or lead generation activities? If you're new to the business and you don't have a bunch of stuff that has happened over the last 12 months, cool. What are the 3 lead generation sources that are out there that seem like they're that I could do really well, right? An early mentor of mine, basically, I remember listening to him talk and somebody asked, hey, what's the best lead generation source out there? Is it door knocking? Is it cold calling? What is it, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, right. And basically what he said is best lead generation source can be the one that you're going to consistently do, right? Because if you do something consistently every day, you're going to get results from it. If it's something that you hate doing, that you dread doing, that you're not going to find every excuse on the planet not to do, don't do that, right? Because you're not going to be good at it, you're not going to do it consistently, and you're not going to get the result. So find those 3 lead generation sources that are getting you the most business. If you are new, what are the lead generation sources that seem to resonate with me? And let's start to work on building a plan around that. Step 2 is ask the question, do I have the best model and system for each of my top 3 lead transaction sources? So if yes, cool, so proceed to step 3. If not, what are those, right? And if you need help with that, make sure that you reach out and we'll really kind of dive into how we can go, if you say, hey, I want to do open house. Awesome. Do you have the best model and system for generating business from open house? I don't have a model. Cool. Well, let's connect and let's sit down and build a really good model around open house. Right? Anybody know what's top 3 lead generation sources for our top agents in our company? Anybody want to take a guess?
A lot of them do referrals.
So sphere of influence is #1 by far, right? Guess what the number? Because Keller Williams did a poll of our top agents in our company nationwide, and they wanted to find out what the top 3 lead generation sources. So if you are newer and you don't know what your top lead generation sources are, that's why I want to bring this up. What do you think number 2 is?
The organizations they belong to, like clubs or like that kind of stuff.
That kind of ties in, I think, with sphere a little bit as far as that goes. Number 2 is open houses, right? And so even our top agents, that's still a massive primary resource for them to get leads. Bob Lucedo, whose team sells like 2,000 homes a year, he's the rainmaker of this organization, and he actually still physically does open houses himself. He likes to get belly to belly with people. It's a relationship-based business, and so that's how he connects with people and meets new people. Is he holds a lot of his own open houses, right? And then the third lead generation source that our top agents utilized was internet, right? Which I was actually a little bit surprised on. But on one hand, I think, especially for our top agents, if I'm making calls to my database and if I'm holding open house, that's a huge bandwidth time. So how am I leveraging my time to be able to do something that when maybe I don't have the physical time to do? So if I'm doing open houses and I'm making calls to my database, kind of that's the job, and then the business is, okay, I'm going to utilize this third lead generation source that I can kind of automate a little bit or put on autopilot, right? So make sure that you, again, step 1, what are my 3 lead generation activities I want to do? Step 2, do I have the best model for each one of those things around it? And then step 3 is put the numbers to each of your transaction sources, right? So that way we can track things. So sphere of influence. Who are the 100 people I'm going to touch? Open houses. Am I going to do? How many am I going to do? For example, am I going to do 2 a week? Ben Kinney, who's probably the top real estate agent in the world based on unit count, if you join his team, he makes you do 2 open houses every single week, every single month, and you can't stay part of his team unless you do that. And the only time he lets you opt out of actually doing that activity is when he's closing 2 transactions a month. Then you can opt out of doing open houses every single week. But until then, when you're brand new agent starting with Ben's team, you do open houses every weekend, every single month, right? And then the third part of that said prospecting. How many hours per day am I going to actually prospect? So we got to be able to put tangible numbers to those things as well. So I just want to share this with you so that you guys can, again, 1, hone in where am I going to get business, and then 2, once I've decided on what I want to do to get business, what's the plan? And then what are the numbers that I need to track around each one of those? Okay. Cool. And if you need some help with that, make sure you let me know, and then we can set up time to get together and go over your lead generation course. All right, so I'm going to call Peyton back. So we're having interim commission so you guys can be paid. Shouldn't take too long, probably 10 minutes or so. So we're gonna. Gonna go over.
So the basic is the same, where you're gonna click on opportunities. And then you would create opportunity,
And can you make sure the page, can you make this one?
yeah.
The green.
The green dot, yeah.
So you basically, the beginning is the same, you go to opportunities, you create an opportunity. Alright. Person. And so this part is all the same. And then you're gonna click over to offers and commissions. Add a new offer. And this part is where it looks pretty similar, but there's a few new things. So you have to put a property address. And then you have to click which type. See, this part is all the same, it's just going down instead of made you go this way. So this part is all the same. And putting whatever.
You folks in the back row see that?
Are you doing this as a listing or buyer? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this one is.
Or this one?
It's the same condition. And so I was saying, this is it just looks different, but it's all the same information that you guys did before. It's just scrolling down. This is where, okay, when you type in the property address, you're gonna click select. This one. And you type in the property address. And you click search. And you have to click sync. Yeah. So it'll sync, this is, I'm making a font, so. Maybe I should. I know, I use my house. Okay. So then you click the one that is your property, and you click next. And then you just say if you're the listing agent, co-listing agent, or if you're on the buy side, buyer. So that's the main difference on this front screen. Okay, and then you have to get.
They have to be in the MLS for it to find that KWMLS thing.
Yeah, or you can manually input it, but here's, it's not gonna let me go. Because let me go get it one first because it's not gonna be.
Well, keep doing that noise too, and to make sure, because we've been having, some issues with this, not us specifically, but Keller Williams just in general. If you're having using command as much, make sure that you're going in there and your MLS IDs are correct inside of command. Because agents that are using sites, things like that, have been having some problems because their IDs aren't synced up correctly. So if you have that, let us know so we can make sure that that's not an issue for you, because that will affect this part of it and it will affect the website. Yeah, she's just doing this as a demo and that did use a property that she was actually.
Yeah.
litigating on.
We've got like a open house right here. These might work. We can search by MLS number.
Well, I think that the problem really is if you're doing this as a listing.
Oh, I found one.
Yeah, if you're doing this as a listing, it's gonna be a little bit more problematic. If you're not the listing agent, it's hard to do a demo on a listing. Right, so you have to do probably this buy side.
I did.
You did it as a buy side?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause if you're doing it as a listing agent, that you need to be your listing, because you're gonna get that thing, it's not gonna work.
Yes, like this.
It finds it on the 24-28 via Sonoma. Or like you search by I actually searched by MLS number off one of the
If you're not the listing agent, go by like it was like my house address.
Yeah, like I entered since you're buyers, enter MLS number. Got the 22428. Yeah.
So do you have any listings right now? Or did you do this as a listing?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's why you're having a problem. So let me go back and do an example of one that's on a buy side. Yeah, the reason that we're having the problem on this is you're trying to demo doing it as a listing, and unless you have a listing, and it's not gonna see it, there's nothing to see.
It might be so much. If you would like to be, if you don't mind, I shall, it's, we can use that as a demo.
Please, make sure you get my list. Getting me on it. I love her.
Guys, close your eyes.
Some, when you have to save password.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I. Yeah, but what's a buyer?
Yeah.
Okay,
What about the open house list?
Yeah, you know what is a buyer on my site, on the site? Was that?
No.
No, it had nothing to do with, yeah, it had nothing to do with communities.
And it's not letting.
Actually, saved by the list.
okay, we'll say
I
bye.
knew this buyer. Okay, cool. Now this work.
Yeah, back to this part is all the same. Except that we want that back. Based on it's not, it's like an older home, like a new home would be just like taking home. Like that.
So it's always, a lot of the time gonna be that.
I think that's how.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, so then you click select. Okay, there you go.
If that doesn't work, click sync by MLS down there and I put in the.
Oh, you
need to change your partner, see how you can browse by MLS, that's how I found. Let me tell it to you, PV 24111 423.
What's it?
Yeah,
Or,
there.
okay. Sure. Yeah. But now see it's still active.
Well, you don't need to select the later. Well, you don't need to select the AWS anyway, so X out of it. Just do X out. So close out of that, and then scroll down the bottom, see create and accept offer. So you only need to do that, or that's your list, attach your list.
Okay. So you could just search by the address.
Okay, so then here you're gonna go edit agent payment. And you could put all your information. If there's any concessions, you input them at the top, so if you're giving credit to your buyer or seller, you input it at the top. And then you input the percentage of the split that you're getting. If there's any outside referrals, and then you can add a deduction, so say you have a TC, so it's gonna show lease risk management fee and risk management fee. If it's not a lease, I will go in there and delete it. If it is a lease, I will go and delete the other one, but those are just the fees associated. The lease is $65 per transaction, and if it's a purchase or a sale, it's $150, but I go in and I edit that before processing the commission. And then say you have a TC, you click add deduction. Well, they will also know how to do this. I sent them the instruction video. And you can search, like say it's Ally. You will search Ally and you can input the price. And you click add deduction. And then you click save. And if there's any notes, sometimes if you're both the buyer and the selling side, you have to submit one for the buying side and one for the selling side because it is 2 different commissions. So just keep that in mind. Now, sometimes you can write I am a dual agent here. And we can just look at one, like listing side, just so you don't have to upload things twice. I would say for records, upload it twice if you don't want to. I put there, and then you click submit. And then you're good, and then it goes to me. So it's very, very similar. It just looks a little bit different. Do you guys have any questions?
Have you showed this again?
Yeah.
Or
Okay, so I emailed out the video. I can send it out again. We emailed it out yesterday, but I'll have Daniel send it again. And like I said, if you have any questions, if you're here in the office, you can come to my office and grab me and we can do it together. Or I've done it over the phone with people too, so if you're out of office for some reason, I can walk you through the steps. And a lot of people, like I said, have TCs, they know how to do it, so you'll be good. But don't be scared when you see 2 feet. I will believe the other. We get it pretty easy.
All right, guys. Go out there and get our regeneration sources set up, and let's get out there and open up some of these as quick.
Oh, oh, okay. Thank you.
I had a couple things.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We've done purpose up then. Yeah.